Many Aussie parents are feeling the pressure when it comes to smartphones, especially when their kids insist, you know, everyone else has one. Well, mums and dads in one state are taking a bold approach that's making not yet the new norm.
The Wait Mate program is helping South Australian families delay smartphones until at least high school, and after securing $6.5 million in government funding, it is set to reach every school-aged family in what could become a blueprint for the rest of the country. For more, we're joined by Wait Mate founders Amy Friedlander and Jessica Mendoza-Roth. Hello, ladies. Lovely to see you.
Hello.
Amy, explain to us exactly what Wait Mate is.
Okay, so Wait Mate is a parent-driven grassroots movement helping all parents wait before they give their children smartphones. So we facilitate connections between parents in the same school and year group so that they have strength in numbers and can hold off more easily.
Jess, clearly this is one of the biggest arguments that parents can have with their kids, right? Because everyone else has one. Why is this... There's always been peer group pressure at school, right? But
Sure.
why does this seem like such a pressure cooker thing?
It's really hard for parents, and until now, it's really been an impossible choice between giving your child an addictive device or having them the one left out. It's really hard for parents, and we have a lot of understanding. You know, we are all primary school parents ourselves, co-founders, and it's been really hard for parents to make this impossible choice. And what we're trying to do is change the norm, so that the norm is not for kids to be given a smartphone, but rather the norm is smartphone-free primary schools, and ideally parents, if they do need to stay in touch with their children or reasons of safety or anything else, give their kids a simple phone, a dumb phone, rather than a smartphone.
So, Amy, is the success of this movement based on all parents banding together? Does it need to be sort of a unanimous movement for it to work effectively?
Look, our feeling is that you need strength in numbers.
Yeah.
You don't need everyone, but you need enough so that the majority starts to feel like the cool thing to do is to wait, to let kids be in the real world, to let them have those connections that we all had growing up in, you know, the 70s, 80s and 90s. And so, look, if your child's friends also are holding off, it's a lot easier for them. And so we urge parents to have the conversations with the peer groups. But at least 10 in a year group feels like a really important milestone to get to, and then, you know, hopefully it grows from there. But definitely not everyone, but we're hoping most.
Yeah, good. Jess, research shows that children who own a smartphone by the age of 12 are likely to experience depression, poor sleep, even obesity. We're convinced that Wait Mate will address some of that, right?
Yeah, the data and the evidence around the age of first smartphone use and some of those harms that you mentioned, anxiety, depression, it's actually really clear. And we used to not know, but now actually the evidence is really quite damning. And so if we do give parents strength in numbers to delay, then we're very confident that we can reverse some of those statistics. And it's much better to work on prevention rather than cure. Like, let's try and actually prevent the problems in the first place rather than having to deal with all of the mental health consequences afterwards.
Okay, so it's called Wait Mate.
Yes.
So what does it actually look like? Like, what is the program?
Sure. So on our website, we have what we call a pledge and connect system. So parents can hop on to waitmate.org.au. It's really simple. You basically pledge that you'll delay giving your child a smartphone until at least high school.
Yeah.
The later the better. Parents can choose 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up till year 12 now. And when 10 families in a year group do the same, we connect you with each other and we say, congratulations, there is strength in numbers here to hold off. And we support parents with resources, with ongoing information, and often the way it enters a school community, if not organically, then through a parent-held information session. So in the state of South Australia, with that amazing support from the government, we will now have, you know, the ability to amplify our message and reach more parents more quickly by presenting in school. So we'll actually go in, bring the community together, explain the reasons, you know, bring parents together and say, you're not alone, we get how hard this is, but if we work together, we have the power to turn this around.
It sounds so good and it makes so much sense. What do you say to parents this morning who are watching this going, I've already lost this battle, I can't fight this fight anymore?
Well, that's a really interesting question, Larry. It's hard for parents. We ask those parents who haven't yet given their child a smartphone to stand strong together, to find your allies, and WaitMate can help. So take the pledge. We'll try and connect you with like-minded parents at your school, in your child's year group, so you can make change together. Hopefully then you can get to the milestone of 10 families in your year, and beyond that influence your principals. So we also have lots of principals across Australia reaching out to us, and we welcome.
Good.
We do, yeah, it's really amazing. So on the website you can contact us, and we have lots of requests for presentations in schools from principals and from parents, and we can do it, or we can empower you to do your own presentation in your own school to try and explain how does the brain work. It's not kids' faults and it's not parents' faults. It's just really hard for kids without impulse control, without a fully developed prefrontal cortex, to actually self-regulate the use of a smartphone. It's hard enough for us as adults.
Sure, that's so true.
Congratulations, making real change. And I imagine the overwhelming emotion for some parents would be relief.
Totally.
Like, oh, this looks easy. It's not going to be complicated. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us and telling us all about WaitMate.
Thank you
for
Thank you,
spreading the
guys.
message.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, coming up for you.